Hi, welcome to City Vision University's Mentored Ministry and Leadership. My name's Andrew Sears, and I'm the president of City Vision University. And we really designed this course largely because we felt like there was a need for a whole new category of courses that instead of being centered around content, that they would be centered around the needs of a mentor, of a mentee and a mentor, recognizing that as you move up into leadership, a lot of what you need is just someone that can help guide you around multiple domains and help you kind of integrate your learning. So that's what this course is about. So I'm going to start off with the learning outcomes. At the beginning of the course, you're going to develop a mentoring plan of how mentoring in this course will help you achieve your goals. So you kind of define your own growth goals. And then every other week, you're going to be reflecting on meetings. And every other week, you're going to be having meetings with your mentor. You're going to be reflecting on those meetings, reflecting on your work. And writing about that. Then just to add some structure to this, you're going to be going through 2 books. So you should have already selected your 2 books, but if you haven't selected your 2 books, you need to get those, order them very quickly. I would encourage you to get input from your mentor possibly, but it's more important that you get them this week because you need to start reading them very soon. And then ultimately, at the end, the goal is to integrate all the growth from your mentoring meetings, your readings in this course, your reflection on your work experience into a final paper where you're going to synthesize your growth towards your mentoring goals. Now, this course can be repeated at the undergraduate level 2 additional times for a total of 3, and at the graduate for, I believe, a second time. So the outline of the course, and there's going to be kind of a routine. So this course is going to start off, and it's going to be fairly busy in week 1 and week 8. So there's 4 items due in week 1. There's the purpose of mentoring. That's a pretty substantial paper. And then mentoring goals worksheet. That's also a very substantial paper. Then we just want you to understand. So part of what you're getting credit for this is the actual work that you're doing in whether it's in ministry or nonprofit, and you're going to track your hours. And then you need to have a mentoring agreement that you upload, that you have your mentor sign. And you're also going to be meeting with City Vision's faculty. So normally that happens in week 2 of courses, but we did it in week 1 because a lot of what this meeting is going to be about is in helping you just get started. So then in week 2 and every other week, we're going to have this. It's a mentor meeting and reflection. So you need to be meeting with your mentor. So set that up in week 1, meet with your mentor, and then you're going to write a reflection. Then week 3 is where you're going to be doing a book summary, and you're going to alternate between these. So book summary of the first half of your first book. And the idea isn't just that you're doing this book. What you're trying to do is to grow in a domain, and the mentor is one tool, the book is one tool, your work and your reflection on all this is a tool. So, and hopefully you can have conversations with your mentor about what you're learning. And the idea of what really the mentor does is your mentor can help you apply it. So say you're wanting to be mentored in fundraising. You can learn stuff from a book, but that doesn't mean you really know how to do fundraising. So you can ask your mentor some of those components if that's one of the things you're doing. And then you're going to have a mentor meeting and reflection. And then week 4 is where we start to have you turn in the timesheets. You need to be tracking your timesheet for each part of the week. And then in week 5, you're going to be doing a book summary and reflection on the complete first book. Then again, week 6 is mentor meeting reflection with your timesheet. And then week 7 is going to be book summary reflection on the first half of the second book, and then meeting with City Vision faculty. And then week 8 is going to be, in many ways, one of the busiest weeks, except for week 1. You're going to have a mentor meeting and reflection. You're going to turn in your final timesheet. You're going to have the reflection for your full second book. You're going to turn in your mentor evaluation, and your mentor is going to do an evaluation of you. Then you're going to have a mentoring final reflection paper. Now, in the course resources section, I highly recommend that you go through and you get familiar with all these items you're going to need to turn in, because as you're working through the course, you need to be thinking about these things. So again, why are we doing this course? Let me just explain a little bit. There's, academic bias in academic institutions and learning domain. And academics often, they say there's 3 learning domains: head, heart, and hands, or cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And accreditation structures really strongly reinforce the assessment of outcomes that are more easily measured, and that ultimately what it does is it teaches a worldview based on objectivism. It overvalues the cognitive domain, and one of the quotes is that for Christian universities, while we orally teach the Word became flesh, too often we teach psychologically and methodologically the Word became text. So, Jesus is our example, and he became flesh. And that's really what we're trying to do, is how do you flesh out what you're learning in these courses? But in academics, often it's all we focus around is around the text. So that's really what we're trying to bridge on this. And we need to be intentional at the program level and institutional level to offset this bias. So the effective, this course is really to help with that, investing in mentoring, practicum, community, journaling. So, this is really about heart level stuff. Psychomotor, a lot of our other courses are project based, so you're learning by doing. But in many of these mentoring cases, that's the case. So, we've talked a lot about the Bloom's taxonomy of learning, and this is the cognitive domain. You remember, you understand, you apply. So in this, you're going to be doing your readings, and you're going to be analyzing. So you have mentoring meetings and reflection assignments, and your final paper is where you're going to be, synthesizing all of this. But that is, really the cognitive side, the kind of the left side of your brain. But then the affective, and that's really what we're talking about, is spiritual formation. Is, as an example here, you could have just someone become a Christian. So you could start off and say, the receiving level is you're attending church, or in a course, you're participating in a course. And then responding is you commit to practice or continue learning the topic. So responding would be someone who actively learns about Jesus. And then valuing is where you make a decision to follow Jesus. And this, you might say, I want to grow more in my people skills. Ultimately, you're not going to do that until you really value that. So that's something you're going to need to do. And organization. So, in following Jesus, that's going to reform your life. So that's what we're looking to do, is these things that you're engaging with mentors. How is this going to really significantly change your practice? And ultimately, we're trying to live like Jesus, but you're going to have specific topics you're going to develop in your goals, where you're trying to be a model of practice in that. So that's ultimately what this course is about. If you have questions, please ask your faculty member in your course. Thanks a lot.